Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is another episode of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just called the show Online Marketing Moves, and we're coming to you live today. Ladies and gents, how you been? How's your weekend? How's everything going? Everything good? Everything good? How's your mom and them doing, huh? Everything's good? Everything's good? All right. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gents, today we're going to talk about something that's, it won't take too long. We're going to talk about misinformation. Now, we all know this is the world we live in now. Kids, there's a lot more information that people love to give out. There's a lot more misinformation that people love to dole out. And people, They just talk and 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 talk. It's so much talking these days. It's sort of you have to your eyeballs in it, you know. So you have to be careful about misinformation and where you get your news source from. Now, me personally, I will tell you, I will be honest with you. The only news that I watch is the local news. And why do I watch the local news? For the weather purposes, okay? But for the most part, I don't watch the MSNBCs. I don't watch the Fox Newses. I don't watch, I don't really watch any of that stuff because we all know that every place, CNN, in any place, most places, most news outlets have an angle, It might be a slight angle, but they have an angle. We all know Fox News, they slant more towards the conservative. MSNBC slants more towards the liberal, and so on and so forth. So, it's not, I'm not bashing any of them, but they give out information and misinformation, and you have to be careful. You have to be careful about people that you listen to on the YouTube, people that you watch on the Facebooks. You have to be careful about, at the end of the day, for all this stuff, even in the words of Jay-Z, even if it's spat by me, you have to do your own research. You have to realize that, hey, I can't take anybody's word as gospel. And I will give you a prime example. Now, I don't know about you, but there's a guy who's a preacher. His name is Creflo Dollar. If you don't know Creflo Dollar, ladies and gentlemen, you have to look up Creflo Dollar, He's the interesting fellow. Now Creflo Dollar, he's a preacher. He's one of these prosperity preachers, He preaches the more you give, the more the Lord will give you, which is is very suspicious, But anyway, as you well know, I believe in the Lord, Jesus Christ and everything, but the one thing that I do not believe in is, God's not looking down. God's not looking down upon us, and God is not like, well, Tom gave $2 million, so we're gonna give Tom $2 billion. Nah. It don't work that way. But anyway, for a lot of years, Creflo Dollar was preaching about, the more money you give, the more blessed you'll be. And the reason why that you're not blessed is because you're not giving a lot of money. But some people don't have a lot of money to give. But, that's neither here nor there. And I guess he's been preaching this for like 20 years, 30 years, something like that. And then one day last week, apparently he had a change of heart. He said, you can throw all my books away, yada, yada, yada. I don't believe that anymore. But, he didn't apologize for his shenanigans, nor is he gonna give is he gonna give that grandma who gave probably her last $30 to Creflo Dollar her money back. You know what I mean? And so this is what we talk about when it comes to misinformation. And as you well know, we've had a whole pandemic, so there's been a lot of information. There's been a lot of information and a lot of misinformation about COVID. Whatever side of the fence you're on, I don't care. But there's been a lot of misinformation. Some people believe in Dr. Fauci. Some people think he's a fraud. Whatever floats your boat. Me, myself, I think COVID was a real thing, but do I think it was as serious as people as they was trying to make it out to be? No, I do not. But I think you had to be careful in the beginning, but now you still got to be careful. But I don't think it's gonna. It doesn't. I don't believe it affects you like they because the main thing is the one problem that I have when it came to COVID was, people had a lot of, because a lot of people have underlying health issues. And so people, COVID would, flare these things up or whatever. And people would they wouldn't die from COVID necessarily. They would die from the underlying health issue, but they would say, oh, he died from COVID, or she died from COVID, whatever, or they died from COVID. They could be one person these days, you know that? But anyway, but yeah, so there's a lot of misinformation, so you just have to be careful, And now, where do you fall at in this category? You, as a content creator, you have to let people know, hey, these are my opinions, yada yada yada. Especially if you're gonna be, the further up you go the food chain, the more you have to say, hey. These are my opinions. I'm not a medical doctor. You have to tell everybody that when it comes to COVID. If you say anything about COVID, you have to say, before you get started, I am not a medical doctor. Like if you give financial advice, if you tell somebody, hey man, save 10% of your money, you have to say, now before I get started, I'm not a financial planner. Please do not take my advice. Blah 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 blah. You have to say this, and the reason why you have to say this is because these days, people are very sue happy, People love to sue, People who will sue you for anything. If you ever want to see a funny video, I don't know this guy from Hole in the Wall, but somebody sent me or it might have popped up on my phone, but there was this guy. His name is Charleston White. I don't know anything about Charleston White. But he talked about how he sued every job, and that's one of the more entertaining videos. Cause I was like, what is this? And this guy, he's talking about how he sued AT&T. He got like $40,000. He sued another company, OSHA. He got $10,000. Sued another company, he got $10,000. I said, so this guy, he's like, I sue every job I get, and I was like, that is amazing. But people love to sue, so this is why they have all those court shows. You know what I mean? People love to sue, so you have to be careful. You have to be careful, and because the bigger you get, the more popular you get, the more you're gonna have positive people, and the more you're gonna have negative people, and negative people are looking to sue. It's sort of like you ever been driving and you see somebody like when I first started driving a truck, people always say, you gotta be careful about these cars because they'll get right up under you, and if they think if you roll back, they'll say, "Oh, you hit me," and they'll try to get some money out of you, out of the trucking company, because big trucks have big insurance, so and all that jazz. So just be careful, just govern yourself accordingly. Watch out. People love to sue. The more money you start to make, the more they'll try to take some of it, and that's just how the society we live in now works. God forbid somebody goes out and figures out how to make their own money. Nah. We want some of your money, okay? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the podcast today. We will be back tomorrow with an all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizano. I appreciate you for listening, and as always, everybody, peace.